Yes, hello, good morning, and welcome to Ivan Che Innocent One here on YouTube. Said they are missing Kano. So when you subscribe to be part of this intellectual growing community, subscribe and be part of it. We are now 25,000 plus, yes, 25,000 followers, and we are still building. It's a community. I catch you when you subscribe, just try and subscribe and be part of this family. We continue to learn together, educate ourselves. Now you're shaping the political discourse. And that is the best way you're able to contribute to the national discourse. And if you want to be part of it, just hit on the subscription button and be part of this. And then there is a particular issue I may pay attention to. It's very, 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 very crucial. And may the videos, other pictures, for a best as a who said the Nigeria has to do with the development that I our Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire here, and was go through social media and other news portal like a child say yes coup akoso Cote d'Ivoire, the Alassane Ouattara, the sitting president of Ivory Coast. Ebinum kra say he has been gunned down, Ebinum say he has been deposed, Ebinum say wadwane, Ebinum say yehuno, whole lot of reports and airba. And there has been other reporter ever refute say coup so there was an attempt and the military foiled it. Whole lot of, but I am not interested in whether the coup was successful or not. That is not why I'm here today. Me no be have a conversation because you see you have no issues by you you 2D actually you see coup about then you na call your, but we lose focus on the critical and the key element. What that development in what is some noise our background that rainy season I think say sweat on Tiana Modia Chain Kakra. There has been a number of where we overlook those starring or staggering realities that very often give rise to some of these things. Me perceive Chua Jina Diabiso recently and Burkina Faso you coup so Abrantia no Abra or step foot to Ghana and a man for who say yes, he's really popular. Because Abra President Mahama the inauguration, second term, the first term, recent election or when the second term in Obabi. Now Obabi, the gentleman actually stole the show. And I tried the rousing your friend is saying, welcome a Ghana for the man, not even the presidency, Ghana for the guy became or has become more or less like a celebrity, but this is a cool leader. Around the world, Traore abaye a symbol of African resurgence. There's some kind of hope beer. Dodo na what ahoto so when you say Africa with the line now or no, that is the way. But I've always argued that me, I don't support coup d'etat. I don't want coup d'etat. I believe in democracy, but unfortunately, what we practice here is not democracy. So the anti-American this assembly say. Coup in recent times, nanka yenim say you are relegated to the back door. Sabi in our journey, in our democratic journey, you call as West Africans, coup there in any place. But in recent times, it looks as if the coup d'etat has come visiting West Africa, especially yes, West Africa, and some other African countries. A man for a fine justification for coup d'etat because of some near air coso within the sub-region. Obia bu na egu so ayenka ho asem. Niger yehu de see ye, Mali yehu de see ye, Burkina Faso yehu de see ye, and Ghana crowd unfortunately said the coso Cote d'Ivoire no cry. Looks as if the countries are border o nyina ne are being ruled by cool leaders. For me, as Sunday, a very big message to us say. Nema bena and ama African youth enya so much belief in interest in coup d'etat change democracy. That is the conversation that we should be having. We had the course of Cote d'Ivoire. Yes, it may be a nasty spectacle, but the reality is Alassane Ouattara ebi anamo real fit kwan your fast obedi president. Obano na ye frɛ papa bi gbagbo or lose elections or see you in see form. People were fighting for this same Alassane Ouattara. Emma Obakaya Cote d'Ivoire and Tokwa see Homa Nipo Muye a birum Jane eba Ghana. Odu de chire be around your fence saying Brekum Drobo Junction ho baby a frɛ kuro bi fetenta omo bebo UN for be see a dan or ha na ye house so Ivorians omo dwane because of this same Alassane Ouattara your friend is saying Bago conflict na ekofa sa nneema na bae and judges run to this country Rebecca Professor Mills and a more Cote d'Ivoire judges baby tena e Kroma because they were all running. Alassane Ouattara way and the nam no so all bar people were fighting for him ekofa sa nneema way nyina bae. Lo and behold, the guy became president. Cote d'Ivoire for 2 terms just like Ghana, yeah. Try the first term, yeah. The end of the second term. The guy manipulated and massacred the constitution of Ivory Coast. A man extra line. A lot of people raise concerns about some of this development, but nobody care about what was going on. Lo and behold, and then a man for raise concern and as for the term now, so we're trying the first term, second term, we are third term not so no. What change the constitution, not giving a whole lifeline. But this is a guy who came criticism was then on Gogo said Sadia na oh yeah. Sandia ma winam so most of the African leaders ye depose or money in leaders are or more massage constitution to give themselves lifeline. Niger, your friends at Burkina Faso, several other African countries, leaders know that. So this particular thing has become a dear bakwa. Yem pesi yebeshe anymore. But yen ya sa ECOWAS ya meeting. Even I remember abra Niger for ye kuna ye suma delegation ama omwako no more the president na kosano. I told you said this joker called Alassane Ouattara or no massage constitution was part of the delegation ECOWAS for suma mo say omono bi enkon kasa. Actually how unserious this whole continent has become and how a yabe joke in the eyes of the world. So until say African leaders will begin to realize that if democracy is what we really want, we must make sure that the details and the everything about democracy will be allowed to work to full gear. But we cannot implement it out of convenience. Part of which we will allow that particular part to surge. And let the African youth lose trust in democratic institutions. The African youth any hope our democracy in BM. And you cannot blame them because people are to me now in the name of democracy no bar and pass assembly grass assembly chronon near my any say ye be page apadia my want the talk house my girlfriend the nominee year nom just and pass assembly at the end of the day nobody is held accountable. So African youth have come to the realization that then could the ever my that instant justice because we remember what Rollins did during his time and as for but for me I don't believe in those things because sometimes the excesses and the nasty stuff people do in some of these things, sometimes are very nasty. And my culture in recent times, so just now, yeah, come one semi yankasano, they are larger and bigger politicians, or one kasasam are even more crazy than these politicians. So I would never advise you being power and comma for a defense saying soldier in as a forum. Because in Ghana, for instance, discipline those kind of stuff are in military known for no. Those things don't exist anymore. So it's just like handing over to the same thing. But you see, there is this emerging phenomenon. People are finding value in coup d'etat. And for me, that should be our concern that we need to address that. As leaders, we must begin to revisit the democratic institutions and they make money attractive. Now you too who say democracy is the best way. But institutions will be hold people accountable. A man for intimate constitutional power until they may pen a bear or be better sorry no a massage constitution. Now a man who lifeline or say Nipano so peme. That kind of nasty nonsense cannot happen in a very civilized space. And I'm expecting say as a mind, as a continent, these are the real conversation that we must begin to have. Now you do away with all this emotionally tainted kind of politics and that's for about now we focus on the coup nipa no mo ye no mo ye say because say yanya sa bobo ma kakra ye ne beba ho so no na all West African countries nyina take blue I take a red I ni nyina coup era because and there has been a number and coup is like a bushfire effect. see one country and another country will have a motivation to also do the same thing, especially when prevailing circumstances in their country. And yet, Ghana, we were very lucky that under Kufuado, yenye coup ewo kroma saying. Very, very lucky. And I'm said this John Mahama administration is the last leg Ghana democracy. So if this government failure, then democracy is done in this country. So I'm happy the way things have started, things are unfolding. I just always said they will continue like this. Sebeya, once again, you better build trust and institute and hope in democratic institutions. That average and the ordinary Ghanaian and so say democracy and the only way, because that is the system of governance that Emma Ohieni any Osikani the power to be active participants in the political discourse. You don't need to be rich, you don't need to be affluent to be before it empowers Obia. That is the good side of democracy. But you see, we have adopted the convenient part. And then the rest of it, some kind of nasty stuff, the kind of economic dividends. As a Ghana for Africans, free, no. And so power na then some kind of convenience enterprise entering into deal. For instance, Burkina Faso, I come and a popular house to do with the mineral regime, handing over to France, America, and other foreign institutions. They are exploiting them in this modern era. Ghana, the oil, then as for it's the same thing. When are we going to convince the average youth to say, yes, it's not Sunday, Mana Magana, Yansu, Yansaka? Yeah, natural resources, we are owning it. Because, and then I'm dear Bakama Traore are gaining popularity because we cannot sit here and be swimming in the pool of poverty when these people come in the name of flashy way, now you're handy seeker to corrupt leaders here, and we sell our natural resources, sell our birthright, sell everything to the extent that even the very human resources, we are selling them. How can we be serious and we are here and we say we want to grow? So what is going on in Cote d'Ivoire now? I think whether it is true or not, I know it doesn't matter. But the message is there is a growing concern. My youth of Africa are so much enthused and so much interested in coup d'etat. And for me, it's a dangerous phenomenon I imagine. And the only way to end it is the African leaders begin to live responsible leadership, prioritize the needs of their people, and make sure, leadership is people-centered, not girlfriend-centered, not side chick-centered, not my family-centered, not my cronies and my allies-centered, not my interest-centered. Because if it continues this line, trust me, people will always find justification for why coup is necessary. And for me, I think that where we've got into, we should be focusing on reaping economic dividends. There shouldn't be anywhere Ghana should come back and be talking about coup d'etat and as any other African countries. But ECOWAS Kotana may name the kind of meeting or have. I don't know the kind of discussion or have. So it's just a normal, usual way because the institution, near me say to cement the sovereignty of the West African countries, now resources in the near. For instance, if you wake up a day and they tell you, Niger is the country or the most youthful population in Africa. Now, Niger now poverty. They have some natural resources. DR Congo, I keep telling you, and the natural resources are what can take care of the whole of Africa. We have all these things, but why are we poor? Because of this same leadership. Bagbo, Alassane Ouattara yarefo we ya no amanfo nam ne su wu ya mo de power man no etimi nya akokodu timi message constitution a man ho another lifeline. Everybody was quiet to the extent that ECOWAS recognize your more committee. No be ba no be coup now so recognize. Now, do you think people will take you serious? So I think ECOWAS and the Africa, West Africa need to, because we are sitting on a time bomb. Because young people are becoming increasingly enlightened and very intelligent, focusing on issues of politics. So videos now to us, so just watch and look at what is happening in Cote d'Ivoire now. You ever seen back here?